love the idea of telling your own story. I think that's a really important thing to do for any person, but I mean, especially artists need to tell their own story. So I mean that's one of the reasons why I come is it's not only entertaining, but it's just great to tell your own story. It's a part of expression.
A friend of mine brought me to this thing one month, and I was like, wow. You know, and you probably heard this story so many times, but it was great to go someplace and you saw, you know, men, women, young, old, black, white, every kind of category represented. And you go up there, I mean, you're sitting down and somebody comes up and you have a preconceived notion about what's going to happen. You know, if someone comes out, they're really old, and then you're like, okay, what are they going to do, you know? And then you're like, wow, so that was a great story. You know, you laughed a lot, or you were moved deeply, and you realize it's not who goes up there, it's the story, and that's what it was about, and I was so moved by that.
The best one was the one I was here last month. There was a woman who told a story of being stood up on New Year's Eve in 1948. And she went home, cried to her mother, and her mother put down a needlepoint and said, "You are going to that party." And she said, "No, I can't, I couldn't possibly." And her mother forced her to go. And she had the best time of her life ever. And she met her husband of 51 years. So it's this beautiful, affirming story. And I thought that's the story that made me want to come here.
The commonality that we find through the stories, and it's kind of almost like a shared history that comes out through the stories. Everybody can relate to the story on one level, and that brings us together.
And suddenly, it's so clear that this guy is alternatively some kind of adult and some kind of child. Because he looks at me and he just makes this noise like, "Oh!" and then he runs away.
It's been great, because I've always had the stories, but I didn't know how to tell them. And so, yeah, I've been bringing friends here almost every month, as often as I can, a new face, because I want them to experience what I've done.
I don't tell a lot of stories. I'm not a storyteller. I had one good story, but now that I've told it, I am immediately on this mission to find another one, and I want to do just that.
Partly why I felt comfortable getting up that first time. I was scared out of my mind. I've never done anything like that before. But I'd been to enough shows to kind of know that it was a safe space to try it. And so I did. And so it was definitely, I mean, the response to a first time, every time Stephanie would announce it was a first time, it was just such a great feeling. And you make your way up to the front because inevitably you're always in the back when you're going to go on. And everyone would, like, you know, pat you on the shoulder and the back and cheer, and they'd say your name. I was constantly caught, first couple times I was like, "Oh, do I know you? Oh, no, I don't know you." Okay. The whole experience, everyone was so supportive and so cool.
You know what I'm impressed by? I'm impressed by how comfortable everybody seems to be. I haven't really seen anybody go up there and kind of do what everyone is afraid of, which is go up there and stammer and be really nervous. I think once you get up there, I don't doubt everybody's nervous before they go up. I mean, I assume everybody else is. But once you do, it kind of washes away, and especially when you're telling stories as opposed to, it's different in acting in that it's a lot more sincere, right? I mean, this is just something that happened to you.
So then I signed up for the course, and that was a great experience. You know, it was about, we're all here coming together trying to find a story and learning that craft. And my story was, I was working on a story. You start off at the beginning, and then through the weeks you develop the story. And the day that I was supposed to tell the final story, something very dramatic happened. And very dramatic. I almost don't want to say it, but it was somebody passed away at work that I had not really known. So I wasn't going to go. I went to the funeral that day, and I went to the course that night, and I made the decision to tell her story. And I completely scrapped what I was going to say, and I was doing impromptu, and it turned out to be a really good story. because my emotions were raw. But I had learned so much from the course that it wasn't just me rambling, and there was a point, there was a beginning, and there was an end. And
I've taken any of the classes, but I do talk to Stephanie on a regular basis, and it's incredible how helpful she is and how good she is about drawing things out of you. And it's just nice to have somebody, or a group of people at least in your life, who want to draw out your stories and want you to tell and want to hear what you have to say.
Amy has started doing storytelling workshops and storytelling for social change, and we're starting to do storytelling for executives, storytelling for salespeople.
One details is I was a manager. I started there, and when you go to these jobs, no one ever trusts who you are. They're like, "Who's this guy? I've been there for 3 years. What can you help me with?" I started telling stories, and we learned in the class that stories aren't just jokes or anecdotes. What they teach you in the class is how to really craft a story and make a point. And I started to use that every day and as supervising my team and that sort of thing. And it really opened up how people interact with me.
I think that all anybody wants to do in this world is be heard.